Welcome to the Pink Dress Effect podcast with Shannon
and Kim.
I couldn't say podcast this morning. What the heck is that all about?
Yeah,
It's early. It's early.
It is early.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about entitled adult children, and we have them.
Hopefully, they won't be too mad at us after this.
No, I want to first say, my son knows he's like, my mom says he's like the king, right?
Mm-hmm.
My little kind of, I love you, Trey.
Yes.
You know you're my joy, and you know you're my heart.
And Trey is wonderful.
He is. He's wonderful. But he's bougie, and he is a little entitled, and he's amazing, though, too. So,
yeah. And Sierra and Sky, y'all already know.
Yeah.
Y'all are wonderful, too.
Well,
but you got it from your mama. That's what they say,
those
too.
girls, I love your girls, too, right? I mean, your girls mean the world to me. And we do. One of the things we're going to get, this is funny, entitled children. There's going to be a lot of seriousness in it, too. And we're going to share some stories and stuff. But at the end of the day, we are blessed. We have our 3 kids combined are wonderful human beings. They're
compassionate, loving,
they're
empathetic.
good kids. I mean, I say good kids. I mean, they're young adults now, but they are good human beings. And I know that I couldn't be more proud of my child, and I'm very proud of your children too. We've both known our kids since they were super little, and they've grown into incredible adults that we're both proud of.
Yes.
But they're still bougie, and they are still entitled. But the thing is, you and I talk a lot. We like nice things too.
We do.
We work hard.
And we're just gravitatory to it. It's not like we even try. It's just like, we always say champagne tastes on a beer budget. It's just like I look at something and I'm always going to pick out the most expensive
this pen
thing.
And there was another pen, I picked this one. This one's $30 and that one's $15.
That's right.
Right, exactly. I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
And I think that too, our kids have seen that.
Yeah.
Like our homes, I mean, we love to decorate.
Yes.
And yes, we've got some expensive pieces in our homes, but most of the stuff is TJ Maxx or IKEA,
Look for less.
Target. Right.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that stuff.
But our children they're different than we are because we will do that. But our children, they want the name brand of it.
Exactly.
They don't want to budget as much. And I think it's because, look, our generation, our parents weren't giving us everything.
No.
And we got out there. I know my first job was at 16 years old because I wanted my own money to do my own thing.
I do too.
But we know how, and I was buying my own lunch money. I mean, at 16, I didn't get lunch money for school.
Oh, yeah, we weren't like that. I mean, I don't even think we got lunch money. I think we had to bring our lunch.
You brought your lunch?
Well, I'm one of 5 children. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
5 kids, could you imagine?
Yes. Yeah. So it was, So, but anyway,
but
so
still,
I did.
You have,
I did. I bought my own clothes. I remember one year, and this is a long time ago, I made like $5,000 in a year.
Oh my God.
And
did you have anything to show for it?
No. Some clothes.
Look, you're my girl.
I've always loved going out to eat in nice restaurants. I've always loved doing that stuff.
So
I had
you're living
a good time.
at large as a teenager.
Large,
yeah.
Buying bougie perfume even then.
But even me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I made a lot of money at this bank. I worked at a lot of money. My bonuses, sometimes I was like 16, 17. I'd get a check for $1,500. Now that was in the 90s. Yeah. I was making money.
You were a major sales girl.
I was.
You were.
I was selling credit cards. Yeah. And I was good at selling credit cards. But like you, I didn't have a pot to piss in.
Nope. So, and our children, so I think when we got,
Is that terrible to say? I was just thinking, my mother says that.
Oh.
My mother says that all the time.
Look, and I didn't even think anything
You
of
got
it.
a pot. My mother says that a lot.
It's all right.
Oh, it's all good.
Right.
Well, it's the truth. It was the truth.
And a window to throw it out of. That's the second part.
What is it?
And a window to throw it out of.
Oh, I never heard there was a second part. So it's like pot twisting with, okay.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. I learned something today.
Yeah, go look up all the little sayings.
That's funny.
But we didn't want our children to have to do all of that.
Yep.
So I really don't. My oldest daughter's first job was at a restaurant, like a fast food restaurant. I think she lasted a week. She lasted a week. She did get mono. I'll give her credit for that.
She lasted a week.
Even if she didn't get that, she was gonna be out of there. She was like, this is not cutting it. Meanwhile, me at 16, I was in that TJ Cinnamons rolling out those cinnamon rolls.
You're like, I'm getting my money. I'm going shopping.
working like all sort. I would leave from school, work till like 10 o'clock at night.
Yes.
I was hustling.
I did the same thing. And then after high school, I went to community college. I did not do good in community college. I did end up getting my degree, but I was wasting money. But I had 2 jobs. You couldn't say I was lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to work and I wanted to make my own money, and I bought my own car. My parents did co-sign for me.
Yeah.
But I bought my own brand new car. It was a little like what are those? The demos. It had 1,200 miles on it. I mean, it was brand new.
You were doing good.
I mean, I did good.
You did good.
Candy apple red. It was beautiful. Then I went in the military. But then I ended up going back to school. But yeah, I was all about, I'm making my own money, kind of the same thing.
But we didn't necessarily want our children to do all of that.
No.
And so they didn't.
I used to dream, okay, so my friend Mindy, her mother worked at a place called Dry Goods, I think it was called.
Okay.
And so Mindy would come home from school and Mindy would have a beautiful outfit on her bed, like, because her mom worked there. So she probably got a discount, but her mom was always doing that.
Yeah.
And secretly, I was always like, God, I wish my mom would do that. And I always said somewhere in my head that my child will never have a want for clothes. Because we got like the Easter stuff. We got some clothes going back to school.
Yeah.
And of course, Christmas gifts.
Holidays,
but we didn't. The only real time that my mom and I would really say, let's go shopping, we had, when I was in high school, we butted heads bad. And we'd straight up getting in arguments. It was bad. And my dad would be like, why don't you guys go shopping? But my mother's not a shopper.
Right? Oh.
But we would go, and then I'd get a new outfit or something, right? But that's only when, and I thought, my child will never. And when I look at pictures of Trey when he was little, I'm like, my baby was a Gap model. He was little sweaters and shirts and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. But no, I was not gonna. And look. Totally my fault. He's got a whole wardrobe of Lululemon.
Yes.
And I have a little bag from Lululemon.
Yeah.
I get my workout clothes from TJ Maxx.
That's right. Yeah, you were telling me about some belt he had.
Oh.
And I was like, what kind of belt is that?
So at Christmas, he had, his list, his little Google list. And every day he would update it and he shared it with his dad and I. And it's Christmas, And I have to say, boys are different than girls, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He doesn't ask for hardly anything. He's very simple. No, I got my workout clothes. That's what he wears every day. But now he's getting older, whatever. So he's got his list. So sometimes I'll go a little bit more at Christmas because I'm like, he doesn't ask for anything. Going back to college, I'm like, you need some new tennis shoes? I just ask him. But anyway, so he's got his list, and there's a belt on there. Simpson and Branson or something. I don't know. It's in Maryland or something. So I click on it. And then those embroidered belts. Beautiful. It's NC State. It's got the bell. It's got Hillsborough Street. It's got everything on there.
Yeah.
Or is that Carolina Hillsborough? That's NC State.
I don't know.
Anyway, whatever. I'm getting them all. No, that's Franklin Street. Hillsborough is NC State.
Okay.
I'm getting it all confused. But anyway, he loves NC State. Doesn't go there, but loves NC State. This belt has all that on there. When they won the championship, all this stuff. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
All hand embroidered. That sucker was $185, and I clicked on it, and I was like, "Ew."
When would you ever buy yourself a $185 belt?
Never.
That's right.
There was
You're
a
like
fit.
$9.99. Look, I'm looking for
My
it.
friend Amy has these beautiful belts from Anthropology,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, "Where'd you get those belts?" She's like, "Anthropology." I'm like, "How much did you pay?" $50. I'm like, $50 for a belt? But I ended up buying the gold one because it's that pretty. I get compliments on it all the time, and I want to go back and get the black one.
Yes, and
but
you
I
should.
just can't do it.
And you should.
But I bought my
You should.
son. I found a coupon because we're coupon queens. I found a
Yeah, yeah.
coupon. I think I got it for $150, and I got it. And I don't know if it was you or someone else that said, "Well, it's on his list. That's what he wants."
Yeah.
You might not get everything else, but he really wants that, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how much it costs because if it's in
Yeah.
the budget, get it for him.
Yes.
So I got it
Yeah.
for him, and it is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But my gosh, like I would never spend that kind of money on myself.
No, I have limits for things for myself, but I don't have those same limits.
No,
from my
you'd probably go
daughters.
drop what $200 on your girls. And
Yeah, or like just on like sneakers. So I
Yeah.
would drop if you ask for a pair of I don't even what the Hokas or whatever. They're $200. Yes,
you don't have any Hokas, do you?
No, I have Nikes that I look for like $50.
Well, and didn't I tell you? We always talk about in these episodes. I work out a lot, so my tennis shoes, they look new, but they're worn out, and I need to get new ones like every probably 3 or 4 months, like for real.
And you're gonna go wait to the last minute to get them.
And I do. And recently, mine really wore out, and they were hurting my feet, and my knees were starting to hurt. Whatever. I'm going to all the stores around me. Well, I fell in love with these ones at Dick's, and they were $185.
Oh, yes.
And I was sick. Yeah. I bought them, and I was sick. I put them on to do this walk. I put them back in the box, and I said, I'm taking them back. I cannot have 185 pair of tennis shoes.
Yeah.
They were beautiful. I still think about them.
I still thought you should have kept those.
Well, I might go back and get them when I find a coupon, but I just felt like, and I kept saying, you would get that for Trey. You would get that for Trey. But I just couldn't do it. Yeah. My sister, she needed some things on her face. Like she was having some stuff with her face, and I was there helping her after she had surgery. And I said, Katie, you should really get that taken care of. It's really easy,
like
whatever.
Go to a dermatologist.
Go to a dermatologist. Yeah. And I actually said to her, would you drop $300 on your daughter? And she was like, yes. And I said, and her husband overheard, and her husband said, before the end of the day, you make sure she has an appointment. And I did, and she did, and she's gotten it taken care of. And I'm glad for her because she works hard and she deserves it.
Yeah, which brings up a good point because we have been like that with our children, and they have seen us go without. They're like, I'm not about that life.
No.
I'm not going without. I deserve the absolute best. And we've raised them that way. And I think, the entitlement thing, it really, but they have a lot of They're very
thankful and appreciative, for sure. They're not like ungrateful children.
Right.
But I think if I didn't get him what he wanted, let me give you an example. I was on the phone with you. I went to the ABC store. He had talked about on his list, he wanted this Hennessy LeBron James. My son plays basketball, so loves basketball. So he wanted this LeBron James. He asked for it for Christmas, and I had way maximized the budget. And then so
no LeBron James.
So we weren't getting LeBron
Christmas.
James. But when I went to the ABC store, because I don't go in there very often, I went in and I asked the guy, I said, do you have this? They were like, yeah, it's this. And I was like, no, but it needs to have LeBron James on it. They're like, oh, it's the same stuff. He said, it just has his face on it. So I called my son after. I said, well, Trey, I got you a bottle of that stuff you wanted. So when you come home.
Yeah.
He said, does it have LeBron James on it? I said, oh, no, it doesn't, but it's the same stuff the guy told me. He goes, well, that was part of the point, Mom.
I guess you're going to be drinking some Hennessy.
I don't think I'll like that stuff. But anyway, so now then I had you looking at yours. I got my sister looking at her stuff down in South Carolina, but I can order it online. He's like, yeah, I'd probably have you do that.
He wants what he wants.
He wants what he wants. And so I'm like, are you going to open it? Like, are you just going to let it sit on the shelf because it's got LeBron James on it?
And he'll probably drink it. But it won't be it's not what he wants. So he's still going to be thinking about it, just like you're thinking about those shoes.
Right. So now I need to go get the LeBron James, which, I mean, look, much respect, right? He's got to support his basketball players there. And
they know. I think that's the difference, too. They absolutely know. My girls know. And I think they'll get away with as much as I allow them to get away with.
Yeah.
I've been talking about wanting to go to a tea party. To like high tea.
Yeah, that's fun.
And so we're working on talking about that. And I was talking to both of the girls. And one of my girls was like, well, if you want me to go, you're going to have to pay for it. And and she meant it like from her heart. And my other daughter laughed. Now she is the most, entitled of them. And she laughed. And I was like, what the heck have I done? Like, don't you want to go to high tea? You pay for it.
Right, but then it's like, sucker. You know you're going to pay for it.
I need to put a big old S on my shirt because I am going to pay for it.
You're going to pay for it. Girls, tea is covered, just so you know. But no, it's crazy. Or like Trey called this week, I think I probably told you, he's in college and we got a bill for like $80 and he texts me, Mom, this has got to get paid. I got to register for my next year's classes. Well, what is that? I don't know. It's probably books or something. I'm like, well, you need to know what it is because I'm not paying for something that I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. So he went to the office and he's like, Mom, there was no one there. Can you call? Can I call? No, you can call. You live there. I don't live there.
Yeah.
Why should I call? It's your bill.
Yeah.
I mean, I have your debit card on file. Well, yeah, okay, but don't use it until I know what I'm paying for. That's not fair.
That's our debit card.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Or he'll say stuff like, I need to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
Well, here's the number, Trey. I'm getting better with that. Like, here's the number. You can make your own appointment because I don't know your schedule. Because what I've noticed, if I make the appointment for when he comes home, Mom, I've got to work out during that time. Well, because I'm supposed to know that.
Yeah. And that's one of the things you have to kind of ask yourself too. Like, is it something that they can do themselves? If they can do it themselves, they should be doing it themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like he drives a car that's not a bad car. It's a Jetta.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like 170 something thousand miles. And my car, I will get a new car at some point, probably in the next 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And we have talked for years that he would get my car, which has 150,000. It's a Honda Accord. It's nicer. It's bigger, whatever. And so even the other day, he's like, yeah, Mom, when you buy your new car, right, I'm still going to get that car, right? He is banking. But yet that car is still worth 11,000. So I would have 11,000 in cash because it's paid off to go put on a new car for me.
But you won't because it'll be Trey's car.
Well, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker too. It's like you want them to have nice things.
You want them to have the best. They're your babies.
They are.
Well, at what point is it enabling them to not grow up? At what point does that happen?
I think I'm going to look at my notes here. I think if your children have a lack of gratitude, I think then we have to look at ourselves and say, wait a minute, we're raising these kids who are spoiled rotten, and they are not going to know how to get it for themselves, and they're not going to.
And they don't want to work.
And they don't want to work.
Yeah.
You hear of adult children that, or they move home, which I don't think is a bad thing. My son's already said, Mom, would you let me? Of course I would, as long as you save your money, because I would like to see him have. I know this is my dream for his life, that he would have a down payment to put on a condo so he never has to rent.
Yes.
And then if he buys something, he's much more financially secure than I ever was.
Yeah, because, when we left home at 18 to go to college.
Broke.
Look,
Got nothing.
I didn't want to go back home. I was like, I'm not ever coming back here.
And they want to come home. They didn't
want me to come back home either. But our children, they love being home. They love being home. And to be honest, I think it's much healthier if a child wants to come back home as an adult, especially in the economy that we have now.
Yeah.
If they want to come home and work and save money, I don't have any problem with that.
No. And I think you said, when does it become like a problem?
Yeah.
If they come home and they're playing video games, if they come home and 5 years go by and they're still at home.
Yes.
At some point, there's got to be limits,
the
I
failure
think.
to launch.
Right,
yeah,
right.
They gotta launch.
Because you can enable them to a certain degree, but if you don't see that, you don't see a sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
If you don't see, like I said, the lack of the expectation.
And like they begin to really expect for you to do for them. The thought doesn't even cross their mind that they would do for themselves. Now, I know I told the story of my daughter. I'm sure the thought crossed her mind. But really, the reality is when my children go out to eat with me, I pay.
Yeah, I get that. And I think,
I think that is an expectation if they go out to eat with me. But I don't even know that I can break it. I really don't even know that I want to break it.
But maybe when they're 30, well, you might be in a better place financially too. It'll be hard. And then they're going to have.
The only thing that's going to break it is having grandchildren, and my focus shifts from my children
I've got
to
the
my
grandkids. You guys got your own bill. But like my son's still in college and he's a student athlete. So he only can work in the summer.
Yeah.
And so he saved last summer all of his money, and he had a few $1,000s, and we didn't give him anything. And then when it ran out, now we give him a little bit every month. It's not much. It's like $100 each of us. I mean, it's $200. I mean, that's not much money.
No.
And so, granted, he's not paying car payment. He's not paying insurance or anything like that. So we still do all that. But he's in college. He can't. He has no money. He's broke. But so like we talked about in
Even though we were eating like ramen noodles and sharing it with our friends.
No, I was and me, I was in the military. I was in the military. So I mean, I didn't even when I went back to school, I was married and all that stuff. So I never got any of that experience.
You didn't get that. You didn't get that real broke.
I was a broke military person because I went in with a car. And if you go in with a car, I mean, I had no money. I couldn't afford cable. I mean, it was tight, but my food was taken care of and stuff, right? So it's like spending money, but I didn't have a lot left over back then.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, I don't know. It's going to be hard. But I think when they're in college, it's a little different. And we talked about at the end of our last episode, these adult kids want Easter baskets. What do you think about that?
When I think, what year did it might have been last year. I can't really remember the year I stopped.
Oh, you don't do it anymore?
I don't do it anymore.
Not even for your child at home?
No, not even for my child that's still living at home. I don't.
Did you get her anything?
They felt some type of way about it.
Did they?
Yeah, no, they did. I think it was just last year. Even Valentine's.
So you better not do anything
Valentine's.
this year. You better not do anything this year.
I am not. I might have bought like a I don't know, some candy or something
See,
like that.
sucker, we can't let
I might have
go.
bought something, but I did it for a long, long time. Just the items in the Easter basket changed, and it started to be more expensive.
Well, and your girls,
know?
I think your one is married, so I can understand that, because then you're like going to have to get the son-in-law an Easter basket. Like, when do you stop? When do you stop? And then your other daughter, she's been out of school for a few years now, and so I can understand that. Like, mine is still in college, so I still feel that need.
Yeah.
He's going to be home for Easter. And now he has a girlfriend. And so, like, I got to get her something too, right? But I love that. That's one of my love languages. But I have to be careful because, to your point, the stuff you put in it starts adding up.
I think I might have bought, like, something to wear or some item of clothes or something. Because, Easter, too, is always you get a new outfit.
We got a new outfit, yeah.
So, I don't know. But, it's a whole thing. So, it's not just like my
What
girls.
about Christmas?
There's a lot of children who feel like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for
they
sure.
still want their Easter basket.
What about Christmas? Like, at some point, how do you make those? When they were little, the transition. We're like, okay, I'm gonna spend $150, and that is it. My mother, well, she's so good with money anyway. My mother literally spends $50 on everybody. Everybody, her kids, the spouses, the grandkids. Everybody gets $50. That's it.
And that's
Sorry,
good.
Mom, I shouldn't say that's it like that. But that's not that much money. It's really not. I mean, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I normally get a gift card or whatever, but
she got a lot of people to buy for her.
there's 5 kids and then spouses and grandkids.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got over 10 grandkids. I mean, it's a lot of money. But my mom is very good. Boundaries.
Every year I say, I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing it. You get 1 to 3 gifts, depending on the cost, and you get your stocking, and that's it. But then their dad goes and he buys 3 gifts.
But he's got his baby girl.
He does, and he's always going to do that. He's been doing that. Like, I'll have a budget, and I'll say, this is what we're buying. But then he's going to go out, and he's going to buy what he wants to for the girls.
Well, and I think that's sweet, too, because, I mean, he works, right? So I think
they love it. They love it.
And my father does do something a little bit separate, too. He started a few years ago, and he gets each kid, not grandkid, but each kid, a little something from him.
Yeah.
It's kind of sweet, I think.
It is very sweet. And it's they love it. But, at some point you do. My mom, at Christmas, maybe she'll spend $50 to $100.
So she's like my mom, more conservative. But
and then she wants to she'll go to TJ Maxx and pick up, random things. But they're always useful.
That's so cute.
And so you get a little bag with some kind of, like steak knives or something like that in there too.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah.
Stuff that you see, that's fun.
No, that's
sweet.
Fun. It's sweet. But for me, it's, and typically when the girls ask for something, it's something, it's a more expensive item. And then I'll have things I want to buy for them. And then they have the things they want. So it's hard. It's hard to pull back.
It is. And I see my son transitioning a little bit. Like we went into J. Crew, which can be expensive. The outlet, the factory outlet.
Which is better. It's
better.
better.
Right. And we were at the store, and I was like, look, buddy, I was like, I know you like your Lululemon, and that's great. And I'm not opposed to getting it for him. It is pretty good quality and all that stuff. But your polos all don't have to be the top of the line golf polos. You can still get, so I have a 40% off at J. Crew, and they have these beautiful, they're the same, that dry wick, whatever. And
did he want it?
Well, he liked him, but he didn't like that particular, he was looking for something for St. Patrick's Day. There was nothing green, but I'm going to go back there, I think, because he needs stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, you've got to get smarter, buddy, because someday you're not going to have the money, and nobody's looking in your tag, trying to... But I'm seeing he's getting more invested in, like, his clothes now as he's getting older.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And I don't know that we'll be able to shift our children from that mindset.
But you know what? One day he did, now that he's in school and he's got a little kitchen, he gets his little budget. Last year he said, Mom, thank you for showing me what Aldi's is. I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's so much cheaper than even Walmart.
Yes.
I'm like, see, I told you, So he's seeing some things, but I agree. I think there's certain things, his shoes.
Yeah.
There's certain things he's not going to.
But, they in turn, I think, as they graduate, they get jobs. They're generous with you also.
Oh,
because I know I was ecstatic. My daughter bought me a tea kettle, and it was, what is that brand? It's a bougie brand.
Is it?
Yeah, the ones
I
that
should have a tea kettle.
They're kind of retro.
I'm not
cannot
sure.
think of the
Well, you
name
have to
of
tell
them.
me because I need a tea kettle.
It's a bougie little tea kettle, but she bought that, and I probably would never have bought that tea kettle myself. I wouldn't have.
But you would have bought it for her.
I would have bought it for her, and she bought it for me. So,
That's so cool.
it ends up, and then, my other daughter, if she goes out and she'll get, pick up food or something and bring it back and, get something for her dad. So it's, the generous nature, even though we've created children with high expectations, they do also give back.
Oh, they do. He gives me great gifts. He gives me great gifts. But it's like, yes, I've created that, but I don't want anything but the best for him anyway, right? And the people that I love.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I'm abundance mindset. We want them to have the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And, as long as they are doing the quote unquote right thing.
Yeah, as long as they get to a point where they're able to take care of themselves, function in society, do all those things. Does it really matter if you spoil your children?
No, as long as, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But we'll see, I guess. We'll see what the consequences are of that as time goes on, right? Just to see.
Well, I think we've made it, Shannon. I really do. I know my oldest is 27 and my youngest is 25.
And they're doing good.
And they're doing great, and they've gone to college and they've graduated and they're moving forward through life and figuring things out. That's all that you can really ask. And they are generous, good people that volunteer and help other people.
That's the most important
thing. They're kind, human beings, and I don't think you can ask for more than that.
Really. I mean, that's really at the end of the day what you're, and mine too. I mean, I remember years ago he said, I don't know, he was in 5th grade. He said, I got to go all the way to senior. And I've always instilled college as not an option, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, if he didn't want to go, we wouldn't have made him go. But
I actually wish I hadn't done that. That could be a whole nother episode.
Yeah. Well, it was just because I didn't have that expectation. My dad talked about education all the time. You go when you're ready. I do believe that because I went back when I was ready. But it never crossed his mind not to go to school. And so it was like, and then I got to go freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and then I get to own my life. So maybe that's some of that entitlement too. That is like, you're going to college and we're paying for some of it, his dad and I. But I just want him to start out his life not with a bunch of debt. And I want him to, because kids that don't have that debt, they start out so much farther ahead. They don't spend all these years paying off college debt. He's going to have a little bit, but it's reasonable. He can get it paid off in a year. Yeah. Easy. Yeah. It's hard. But I think, we talk off camera a lot, right? Being a parent, there's no
playbook.
No, you do the best that you can, and sometimes subconsciously we want to give them the things that we didn't have, that we thought we desired, like the bed, the clothes, the outfits on the bed. My son will have outfits on the bed.
Yeah, and I wanted those Jordache jeans.
Did you ever get them?
I never did.
Well, I never had a pair.
Well, let me take that back. I might have gotten a pair of Jordache jeans, but they weren't in style anymore. So
no, I probably didn't. I probably didn't. Well, anyway, I guess just to round it up, at the end of the day, we have great kids.
Yes, we do.
And we're very blessed because of them, and we're very proud of all 3 of them.
We are.
And you got a son-in-law too to throw in there.
Yes,
so proud of son-in-law.
To have another child.
Yes, proud of son-in-law too. Yeah.
And he gets spoiled too. We spoiled him at Christmas.
Yeah,
too.
You know what? Mine's getting an Easter basket. Your girls are getting the tea party paid for.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? It's okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. I hope if you have grown children, you can kind of relate to kind of what we were talking about today. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. Obviously, you do what's best for you and your family. But hey, if you got good kids, it just comes with the territory. You want to spoil them, and don't obviously love them hard, but spoil them with things too.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. Follow us on YouTube or subscribe, and follow us on Spotify or listen to Spotify. We're going to be talking about in our next show the 50-50 trap. Really, kind of just I guess
it's kind of just like those expectations about gender roles. And Gabrielle Union, there was a whole viral thing about the 50-50 trap.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that and kind of what expectations are for folks. So thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time.